Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Summer's Fun, a Summer House podcast, season 7, episode
I feel
7.
like it's golden birthday.
Oh, I know, because it matches. I
I
love when this
know.
happens.
And you know what? I in my mind was like, all right, we're halfway through, people. Like, we
Okay.
got this. I feel like it's gonna be like 14 to 16 episodes.
They said
We're
it's been 5 weeks in Summer House time.
which there's usually like I think 8 weeks. So in their world, we're more than halfway through. But what I realized is we have like Lindsay and Carl's engagement.
Yeah.
Like we have some
We have
high level
reunions.
stuff to
Yeah.
get through before like or like at the end of this season, I feel like we always actually stretch out the days.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see.
Mhm.
Um, Check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have It's About the Pasta Vanderpump Rules podcast, which is bumping.
Mm-hmm.
And we have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. We have no new reviews for this podcast. Sad.
Sad.
Um,
Come give us a review, please.
please. Okay, what else am I doing? Oh, follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. I've been lacking on the tweets. I know, I'm so sorry. I'm back. I didn't like the tweets from this week's episode. I think that there's many layers, but I'll still post them. And
Yeah.
join our page. I just want to reiterate what we post is just like the most popular tweets. It's not our opinions. Because sometimes
Yeah.
people are like, I don't agree. And I'm like, I don't agree with this tweet either.
Yeah,
But
I'm all here
whatever.
for a debate. But if
Yeah.
you do comment on them, it's not
It's
Alicia
not me. I'm
finding
not tweeting.
her voice to other people.
Yeah, no. And then join our Patreon. Patreon, I said that weird. Patreon.com/slash Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all our fun pre-shows where Meredith and I catch up on whatever the hell we want because we can. And also you get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. It was dropped on the Patreon before it was dropped live on all the other podcast
Yeah, so don't
platforms.
miss out.
For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we do old seasons, we'll do after shows to talk about Bravo news, so we never leave you guys hanging. But we're not doing that now because we'll spoil whatever shit we want because we're live.
Oh,
And you should
yeah.
keep up. And also we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Chris, Danae, Dee, Dustin, Gabriella, Isha, Jackie, Jamie, Casey, Katie, Kelsey, Chrissy, Sarah, Cameron, Tyranny, Tiffany, Tonette, wow, I'm having a hard time. Tracy, Amy, April, Courtney, Emily, Gina, Jennifer, Kirsten, Christina, and Ruby, and Taylor. And Tiffany. Wow, we got a lot of additions. I'm so sorry. I'm used to this.
Hey, it's hard when we're getting all the support in the world, which
It's
we
hard when you're
love.
popular.
It's just
Kidding.
wow. We are the cool girls.
Oh my God, did we make a
Are we
cool?
cool?
Also, I started to notice some people are responding to other people on the
Love.
Patreon, and I'm obsessed with it. I want you guys to chat, and I want to I want to be in the group chat too. We
Honestly,
gotta
I feel
go.
like the whole reason we started the Patreon was to just actually give room for discussion of
Like a
things.
community, because that's what we didn't
Yes.
have.
Yes. We don't want to
So,
just sit here one to one and talk about
so
this. We want it to be a group activity.
respond back. If you disagree, be like, I disagree with so and so. Here's why, or I do agree with so and so, and here's my backup. Or
I like
you forgot this point
in our podcast by the people section when people are like, love what Jackie said, also want to add this.
Same. That's what I mean. People,
Yeah.
but you got to keep the group going, you guys. You got to keep going.
Have some lighthearted, fun debates.
Exactly.
We do it all the time in the comments, but yeah, I really want it. I mean, that's why I want to get more active from me on Patreon.
Love that. Look at us. We're just great. We love this. And then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, for live shows, this is what we're talking about. You get to give us your questions, comments, concerns, whatever. We'll read them on the podcast. We will discuss them live. It's called Podcast by the People. We bring your opinions into it and discuss our thoughts. And yeah, we want everyone to comment back, have your own discussions. We will group chat this shit and let everyone know what you're saying.
That's a good analogy. This is a group chat here.
Chat. And then also we'll pick a patron of the episode. So this patron of the episode is new, is commenting thoughts, is here to participate in the group chat.
Woohoo!
It is Isha.
Welcome. First
Welcome.
week.
Welcome to the group chat, Isha. That's what we'll do. $5 is the group chat.
The group chat.
You're part of the group chat. Okay, yay, we did that. Bum, bum, bum. Is that it? Should we hop in the episode? Should I do Patreon or podcast by the people? I got it right when I was saying it.
I know.
And now I was like, should I do?
I love it when you mess it up more, and I like when I get to correct you.
No one else likes it. Everyone else is like, this bitch messed up again, but whatever. Okay. We have a thought from Casey from last week. Oh, I
Okay.
told Meredith this. I'll just say it here. This is what I'm doing in case you don't listen to our pre-shows. I'm gonna read any leftover comments from the post I made from the week before and the current post, and that's all I will read. So those are your two posts. Don't comment on the actual episode. I'm not gonna read it. I just can't. It's so many posts.
You can comment on it.
I'm gonna read it separately.
Just not for this segment.
Yes, I'm not gonna read it on the podcast. I might comment back myself. Meredith might. Someone else.
Who knows?
But not me on the podcast. Okay, so Casey said, "I know we're loving Gabby, and I am too, but she seems pretty high maintenance. I would have been stressed. Wait, did we read this one? I would have been stressing like Maya for the lack of preparation. I feel like we read this, but I'm gonna keep going."
Yeah, keep going. I don't think we did.
I don't remember it. That's okay. I do love Gabby. She does seem high maintenance. I am high maintenance. I see nothing wrong with it.
I don't either. Like, isn't Paige a little, like, remember when in the COVID season, Paige bought an entire like U-Haul truck of clothes? Like,
yes,
we love that.
Remember how Paige's parents paid her apartment for a while? Like, yes, we got privilege. It's okay.
I think it's fun when you have like this is a melting pot. It's a roommate situation, and that's the beauty of it. Like, and I do enjoy that people are like, wow, she's like extra. Like, I need that, like,
be extra
discourse of like people being like, wow, that's too much for me.
How boring would this show be if there weren't any extra people on it? Like, I need the extras. I love when people are extra. I hate saying the extras because I thought of Tom Sandoval. Oh my god, I know. I was like, maybe I don't want people that extra.
Not that extra, but like we need some clashes, whether they're like good or bad clashes.
Yeah. Casey also says, loved the party theme and the outfits. Party still seemed lackluster, but so glad to see a party and then some people going out. I know, praise the girls, praise the trilogy of women that went out.
I am forever indebted to them. They are my favorites because they're serving it up.
We got a party, we got them going out, and we got them coming home, eating pizza, drunk, but also doing serious combos. Like, it was everything.
Right? You know what we didn't get this week? All of that.
Oh, literally any of it. None of it happened. Spoiler. Okay, this seems like the beginning of the end for Lindsay and Danielle. Basically, I feel like Danielle's upset that Lindsay is now constantly choosing her relationship / Carl over their friendship, and Danielle lost both of her friends. I agree. I really want to take some time to get into this at the end of the episode because I have a lot of thought. I think it's very layered. And I even practiced in the shower how I wanted to explain.
I even practice in the shower.
Well, it hit me hard.
I'm really into talk about this because I think I've been really thinking that this is something really common.
Yes. So we're going to talk about it, but I think you're right, Casey. And then loved Paige for bringing the drama. She doesn't care if she's stirring the pot. Yeah, everyone's mad, and I get Paige has like a mean girl streak, and like I can see it, but she's stirring. She's doing the job.
I need the world that watches reality TV to like give some like things that you wouldn't want in your life, like benefit of the doubt exceptions, because we need it for reality TV. Like, unless somebody's being like hateful and below the belt, dirty, like mean
racist
girl
or homophobic, like that's mean. If you're bullying, like straight out,
that's unacceptable. But like a little mean girl behavior, I need it.
If you're stirring the pot, stir that pot. Make people's lives a mess.
Like, to be honest, I need for you to think that you're not welcome to come lay in chit chat in bed with me. I need that because that's going to cause a divide in the house and people to yell at each other.
Yeah. And then you know what? The audience is going to support the person being bullied because then we're going to come for the mean girl.
It's like the underdog. We need to root. We need to root for someone.
Yes. Lindsay and Carl. Oh, we did read this. Or like when Joey and Rachel got together on Friends.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense, but just doesn't feel right. Okay, Casey, you got like two stars.
2 rounds.
2 rounds. Okay, so I'm being a bad host. Someone fire me. Anyway, let's get into the episode.
A new reason to
Someone's
fire
gonna leave a
Alicia.
really bad review about how I should get fired. I dare you. No, don't. Just DM me.
Wait, actually, please leave it. Just give us 5 stars. I would love someone to roast Alicia in the
Give 5
reviews.
stars to Meredith. Be like, she's a great host. Alicia, on the other hand, oh fucking.
Can somebody mean girl Alicia really quick? Thanks.
Oh my god,
Bye.
people will root for me then because I'll be the underdog. I'm never the underdog. Don't do it. So previously on Summer House, we had the Studio 54th party with Karma Brown. Bam.
Oh,
Bam.
bring it back. Bam.
Maya and Sierra don't feel like they've connected with Gabby. Sam got ghosted by that Australian, but Danielle hyped Sam right back up. Danielle and Lindsay trust Amanda the least. Danielle is fighting with Amanda. Carl is fighting with Kyle. Lindsay cannot believe that Danielle told her it's too soon to move in with Carl. Everyone thinks Lindsay is putting on an act with Carl, and Lindsay asked Amanda to get together to talk.
Yes, I was excited about this conversation.
I have a lot to say about this conversation too. Let's just go. So we all leave on Sunday. Great. Then we weirdly start an episode in New York, which rarely happens.
I know, but it kind of needed it. It gave me a little refresh
like
this episode. Yeah.
Gabby goes to that like crystal store and she's getting energy and crystals so she can like get a boyfriend.
This ain't for me. I'm just gonna be honest. If it's for you, cool. Me, I'm like, what the fuck does all this mean?
I got nothing but negative energy here. If you walk in with your crystal, nothing's gonna do me any good.
And to be honest, I don't want to change it.
Now, if you're a witch, we can do that. We can make spells. I'll do spells. I'll steal people's hair and put them in water or whatever. I'll witch it.
All right.
I don't want crystals.
Well, a little what's the like Halloween Town-esque? I'll do that.
Yeah, but like evil, like think Hocus Pocus. Like we're gonna eat children witches.
Jesus Christ, Alicia.
The laugh. Get so much hate. I can't wait. Anyway, okay, Wednesday. Craig is at Paige's apartment. Craig basically hates, or not Craig, Paige hates Craig's design choices in his bathroom, so she redid it. She also
I love this
whole house.
He probably needs it. Let's be honest.
He understands. He makes pillows. He does design. I
actually remember this like happening. Her actually doing the bathroom in real time on her Instagram.
I did too. She was like, "Okay, let's repaint this." And Craig did not help her. She was like by herself doing it. Okay, Craig wants Paige to come to Charleston more. This kind of made me mad. Okay, he's like, why don't you come down? And she's like, I do come down. I'll come down more. It's fine. And he's like, I love New York, but what's the next step? Why don't you come down? And she's like, because I don't want to.
I wish he would have been like, I think we should spend like fall and winter in Charleston and then like spring and summer in New York, because I need Craig to acknowledge she can't leave during the summer. Like we're filming a show here.
Yes. The way Craig was saying it, it was like, so when are you going to come live my life with me and like into my life? And you know what? I really loved Paige here because she's like, listen, she's content. She basically tells him like, I'm content with what our life is right now. Mm-hmm. We make the rules. We can do whatever we want in our relationship.
I loved this. I felt so seen and validated for not being in a relationship.
When I tell you, I said, it's okay to do my own thing because Paige said, Mom said it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay.
I really especially loved in her interview when she was like, I'm not ready. I'm going to tear up. Like, I'm not ready. I was like, you don't have to be ready. No. Who's forcing you to be ready? You're right. Like, I don't need to do anything just because she's turning 30. Like, we're not far behind her age. Like, there is that time like where you feel like at 30, you have to have your whole life together.
Yeah, you have to buy a house and start having kids and move in with your boyfriend. And she's like, Craig and I have only been dating a year. Like, I love my life in New York. I love my friends in New York. Like, why does that have to change because I'm 30 and in a year-long relationship?
Yeah.
Like,
and you know what? This gives me hope that they will always kind of split their time or like have an apartment up in New York.
I can't lose Paige. I can't lose Paige to Charleston. I would literally
even if she's not on Summer House, I can't have her fall to the Southern lifestyle forever.
There's something so comforting living in the same city as Paige, knowing she's breathing this air too.
Yeah.
Like there is something, like 2 of my favorite influencers just left for LA and I'm like, I feel broken. I feel like mom abandoned me. Like there's just something so comforting for people to be like, yeah, a rat ran over my foot too. To be like, oh, we're all the same. No, I just need Paige there too. But whatever. Craig does say he hates packing and unpacking, so he wants closet space. And Paige is like, I guess I can give you the closet with my spring coats, but those are my spring coats.
That argument I get from him. Like, we're gonna split time. Let me have some ownership of this apartment.
I love that he's like, we get you storage, and she's like, I already have storage.
I like how he's like, can I have the closet? And she's like, that's my spring coats.
I love how she's like, I don't want to change my life for you. It made me so happy because I feel that way about
and I like
everyone.
that he didn't push back too hard.
Yes,
he was just
thank
like,
God.
how do we incorporate me into the New York version of life
Thank
a
God.
little more without you
awesome.
changing too much? Like, you can give up the spring coat closet because I bet it's that hallway closet.
Yeah,
is what he's getting.
Yeah, she's a whole room as a closet.
It's like she's losing people. Like 5%. She's still her.
Oh, she's amazing. Anyway, so it's Thursday. Lindsay and Amanda meet at this like restaurant.
This like entry, her like Amanda walking in trying to find Lindsay made me so uncomfortable.
Amanda was unfriendly from the jump. I'm gonna say it now. I really hate Amanda in this conversation, but we're gonna get into it anyway. So Amanda sits down and Lindsay says she feels like this conversation was a long time coming. And the only reason she's had tension is because she like hasn't been able to talk to Amanda yet. And Amanda's goes, I've been around. And immediately I go, what the fuck, Amanda?
Yeah, that wasn't needed. I do think after like they have this discussion, I ended it with thinking, you know what? I think Lindsay was the one who needed to reach out. Like, I still believe that. Like, Amanda just didn't know where she stood in order to reach out, if that makes sense. But still, you don't need to come with this energy. Like, well, I've been here waiting.
I agree Lindsay needed to reach out, but I don't think Amanda was like at all receptive in this whole conversation.
Yeah, this really bothered me because even I'm big on, listen, we don't all need to be besties, like really, really close, but you need to be like, we all need to learn how to fake it again. Like, people don't know how to have like these surface level friendships anymore. It's okay to not be best friends, but like have a certain rapport where you can hang out in the same group.
You can be nice.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to be like bitchy? I don't know. Okay, so Amanda basically says she's confused. And Lindsay says their relationship has been interesting, but Lindsay thought they were getting closer, but then Amanda thought it was too soon to move in and said that Carl's tainted by Lindsay. And Lindsay found those comments hurtful. And again, the moving comment to me is like lost on me, but the tainted part I get.
Yes.
She can be
I will also say though, I feel like if you're in this world, you got to give a little bit of reunion, like conversations, talk, not so seriously. Like, you're in a heated moment.
And you're being asked heated questions. It's like Watch What Happens Live when it's like, who do you trust the least? You have to answer. It's like, I have to make waves.
Yes. I feel like Lindsay really gets upset and holds things really to heart in moments where I'm like, hey, girlie, you got to brush it off a little bit.
I agree. I do think the tainted comment is rude.
It's not good. There's a conversation that needs to happen after a comment like that.
So Amanda says she understands and she apologized in the text for what she said wrong, but whatever.
Yeah, not really. I mean, you started, but you didn't finish it.
Yeah, she said she got frustrated because Carl's opinion kept changing, but in retrospect, Carl should be taking Lindsay's side and supporting Lindsay. But I was like, girl, we can change our minds if we want. Just because I tell you one day my favorite color is purple doesn't mean it's going to be purple tomorrow.
Okay, well, if I don't know what the context is on Carl's opinion is changing. If that has to do with work, take that up with Carl.
Yeah.
Like, that's not Lindsay's fault that Carl is not communicating with you.
He's a grown-ass man. If he changes his opinion, it's not because his girlfriend told him to.
And even if it does, like, have something to do with her, that's his choice.
He's still a grown-ass man. Why are we babying these men like women control them? Okay, women can't even control their own bodies. How the hell are we controlling grown-ass men in this world, in this economy?
If we could control men, do you know what would not be happening right now? A lot of things.
Yeah, oh my God, if we could control men, we would have the right to our own body. Let me tell you. Okay.
A lot of things would be different.
We're upset. So Lindsay asks if Amanda still feels like she tainted Carl. Amanda says she used the wrong word and she tried to talk right after at the bar, but Lindsay didn't want to acknowledge Amanda, and that made Amanda go into a hole and wanted to wait for Lindsay to be ready, which I get. Maybe the bar is not the best place to hash things out, but like, I get trying to talk to someone, they deny you, and you're like, then I'm gonna wait till they're ready to
Yes,
reach out.
I've been this person. I've been Lindsay. And so seeing this go down, it actually has made me reflect on moments where I have put up a wall, like somebody's hurt me, I put up a wall, don't want to talk to them. But and so that's what I mean by it is Lindsay's job kind of
To
to
reach out.
re-engage a
Yes.
conversation because the other person is scared to get shut down again. And so
Yes.
you have to open the door to have a conversation. You don't have to like bear all the weight for it, but you have to like be like, all right, I'm open for business again.
I agree. So Lindsay starts to tear up. She says, even though she's a tough girl, she is very sensitive and she's human. She has feelings and can only handle so much. And with this, I was like, oh my God, she's really hurt.
This is
Like,
reminding me of Katie on Vanderpump. Like, they're
yeah.
both like they're really strong and confident in themselves, but that does not mean that they don't have emotions, get their self hurt, but they're good at pep talking themselves to be okay, even when they're not okay.
Yeah. But like you see Lindsay break down, she's obviously really hurt. This is where I was like, Amanda needs to understand, like this woman has had enough. Like you need
Yes.
to lay the fuck off
I
her.
think Amanda
She's
needed to be like, wow, I didn't realize
what
you
I
like
said
you
hurt.
you
Yeah.
took this so personally, like you were feeling these feelings. I did not realize it was to this level, and I am so sorry.
Yes, this hurt me. I was like, this woman has done enough. Lay off her and her relationship. Let her live.
Yeah.
So Lindsay's most hurt because she thought her and Amanda were friends and she's getting judged and attacked by things she doesn't even know about. Like, I bet she didn't know what Carl's changing his opinion on.
Oh
Of course,
God,
that's
yeah.
Lindsay's fault. So Amanda says, this is where I got kind of mad because Amanda's like, I feel like you take what I say with so much malice and anger. It's not meant to be like that. Like, I was just shocked. I was processing it, which I get processing, right? The too soon, like, you're just processing their timeline. But Amanda should have said, like, I'm sorry you take my what I say with so much anger. I didn't mean it. Like, I am so sorry
Yeah.
about that. But there was never like an I'm sorry. It's like you take all of this so harshly.
Yeah, I feel like Amanda needed to have a real apology, like focus on that at first, and then be like, Lindsay, I don't want you to take everything I say with like negativity
Yeah.
because of our past or like things we've just gone through. Like, I don't mean you are moving in to be like, and that's fast to be a negative comment. I'm just reacting with my words and like I'm
Yes.
processing with my words. And so
Yeah.
like this is a conversation a lot of people are having and nobody is rooting against you. Like I needed
No.
her to have that kind of conversation about it.
I need everyone to have that conversation with Lindsay, but whatever.
I
But
need
like,
Lindsay to get that too.
yeah.
Like if more than one person says that to her, I need her to understand that like just because people comment on your relationship doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Yes. I also, I don't know. I just think like Lindsay maybe doesn't know from specifically I'll say like the Amanda thing fine because Amanda has in the past attacked her. So I
Yeah.
see where Lindsay is like she's coming at me with like anger and hatred and whatever. But also like yeah, I just need Amanda to be like, because I care about you, I'm saying these things. Like, I'm allowed to tell you what I'm scared of for you to try and protect you in hopes
Go about
that,
it like Danielle is, where she's
yeah,
like, I'm saying these things because I care about you.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I as a friend, I am providing feedback to you. God,
yes,
I need to stop saying the word feedback after last episode. That was like my buzzword.
feedback. So Amanda does apologize, and then she's like, "I want to be friends. You know, the couple should be having the best summer of their lives." Lindsay apologizes too, that like this conversation took so long. But then Amanda in her interview is like, I don't know what's real and what's not. So I'm just gonna give Lindsay the benefit of the doubt.
I didn't like that. I was like, why does
No,
Lindsay need the benefit of the doubt?
if we're moving past this, do not sit here and be like, I think it might be fake, but like I'll just be ready
like,
for it. Because you still have your guard up then. You're still ready to attack Lindsay at any moment.
Well, like you think it's fake, so then you're not open. I was really proud that Lindsay took accountability for it taking so long. I was like, that's huge on her part. And you're over here saying, like, who knows if she's sincere about it? Why wouldn't she be sincere about it? She just told you, she just teared up.
She was crying. She was so upset.
And told you like she's hurt. Even if she is perceiving this wrong, like how do you not have compassion for the fact that she's sitting there thinking you think the worst of her? That would eat me alive.
This really pissed me off. Like
I agree. I felt like this
interview.
It made no sense why you think she would fake all this.
No. You can't, if you think it's fake, don't accept her apology then. Like, don't let her think everything's okay and be like, well, I always thought it was fake.
That's it. It's like, don't tell her one thing to her face and something else behind her back when you're not going to actually move forward. Like, you're the problem here.
Exactly.
When there should be no problem. Like, Lindsay's clearly going to move past this.
Done.
Why can't you?
We're done. Yeah.
You're not the hurt party.
Exactly. So it's Friday, 5:39 p.m. Robert and Danielle are driving down to the Hamptons. I just want to preface with I'm so sad they break up, but I'm gonna talk about them like we still have a little bit left.
I just sat here, kept thinking, like, what was it? Are they off right now? Like, is something going on? It ruined it. Watching them, it ruined it for me knowing they're not together.
It really has to be the chef thing. It's hard to be like a chef that travels. And I can tell Danielle's hurt in this episode a lot with Robert.
And I think her interviews are after they break up because she kind of is like,
she's sad. She's very hurt about like him not being around
and his schedule.
And if I have to guess, okay, I'm gonna guess Danielle's love language is quality time because it seems that way with Lindsay and Robert.
Yeah.
And she gets really sad when people do not give her quality time. And I understand I am also quality time. And this would kill me to like never see my boyfriend.
Yes.
I would be like,
because like what people don't realize who aren't quality time is it's not the amount of time spent, it is the quality of time. So this, even though they're spending time together with a group, that's not quality time. They're spending time together. This ain't quality time.
Yes. Okay, so also we find out they're gonna have a party, but Robert has to cook for it, like a dinner party. And
come on, he did that last season too. Like this is his thing.
I know, but I feel bad. He's like,
remember when he had to do the whole like boil and nobody ate it?
Well, they were partying and he's like soberly boiling crawfish.
I was devastated for that food.
I'm so sad for him. Robert, drunk or sober, I would have eaten that food so happily.
They didn't feature his food enough, but thank God on Instagram they like showed the table and I was like, oh, Robert, I love you.
So Danielle's really excited for Robert to be here. He wants to party because he never gets a chance to because he's always working. Robert hasn't really been around Lindsay and Carl as a couple. So, but Danielle's like, you know, warns him it's different. It really is different. And they're in still like a honeymoon phase.
This comment also made me think, wow, it must be really hard for Danielle to spend time with Lindsay and Carl because they spend so much time together that she feels like a third wheel, but then also is thinking like, wow, I wish I spent time with my boyfriend. So she's never doing double dates with them. She's just third wheeling them.
Yeah, I think it's really hard. And that's why I say like, okay, right off the bat, Twitter has so much hate for Danielle and a lot of hate. And
what?
I understand the idea of like, right, Danielle's not acting like a great friend to Lindsay, but I think Danielle is really hurt and hurt people. And I think she's unintentionally showing her hurt, like she's taking it out. She's
kind of like lashing out.
Yeah, but like she is so hurt, you guys. Like I see it. I
feel like Danielle is one who supports so easily and quietly sits and waits for someone to support her the way she supports them instead of asking for what she needs.
Yeah.
And that's really tricky. Like she is probably really lonely and then like because of her boyfriend and then Lindsay, you know, like kind of ghosting in their friendship a little because she's now in a like very serious committed relationship. Danielle just sits there and is like, where the fuck are my people?
I think that's a big part is like she doesn't, right? Like if Carl went away, Danielle would always be there for Lindsay. And I feel like Danielle's not feeling like I'm not saying she isn't, but from what we've seen, I would assume that Lindsay is not giving Danielle that same support. And I think she really is hurt. And when she does hang out with Lindsay and Carl, I'm sure it's very coupley. And Danielle is just this third wheel.
Danielle's probably not getting the love the way she wants or needs it.
Yes. And I think it's really important to remember, like, we need to ask people, like, how can I best support you?
Yes.
Because sometimes the way you need support,
right now?
It's not the same way. And I know like Danielle is being a horrible friend to Lindsay at some points, but I don't think Lindsay's being a friend to Danielle, and a friendship is a two-way street.
Yeah.
It just hurts.
That's a good reminder. I've been thinking about that. Like, instead of asking, like giving people my thoughts and opinions whenever they come to me with a problem, saying, do you want me to listen, or do you want my advice?
Yes.
Like, I want to
What
start
do you
asking
want?
those questions to my friends and my family so I can best love them. And that's a good reminder, like in this context of the show, is like, how are we communicating and giving the people around us like what they need?
Yeah, it really hurts me that like everyone's like Danielle should be so embarrassed about how she's behaving and
No,
stuff. I think she's hurt, and I think we're not.
yeah.
I think
And
I'm
that's not a diss against Lindsay. Like, I
no,
don't think one is the problem. I think this is just a
no.
really tricky situation.
I'm a Lindsay stan. I will
I'm
stand her
not, and
till the day.
I'm not ready to dagger Lindsay over this
I'll
yet.
stand her till the day I die, but I see I don't think either one is right or wrong. I think it's
You
just
know
like
what?
an
Coming into this
expiration.
season, I thought I was going to be like, fuck you, Lindsay.
I
Like,
did
I thought Lindsay
too.
would really do something, like a moment, and
I
she was
did
just going to be
too.
a really shitty person. But it's not that. It's like a
It's complicated.
natural, like, this happens so easily where
It's
you
very
just
much, yeah, it's a
drift
human,
apart. And
it's
how
a
do you get together again?
it's something that happens amongst humans, and I think it's not just black and white, like one is wrong.
Mhm.
I truly believe
But
that.
from your
We'll get
perspective,
there.
you feel like somebody else is doing it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll get there. We're like not even there yet. Anyway, I keep trying to cut it and be like,
I know, I'm
okay,
sorry.
that's okay. So it's 5:42 p.m. Paige, Sierra, and Chris are at the house. Robert and Danielle show up, then Carl and Lindsay. Carl ditches Lindsay to go hug Robert. He's like, carry your own bags, babe. I got a dude. He loves dude friends.
Okay, I
Remember?
really needed Lindsay to be like the strong badass bitch that we know her to be, like,
No,
Lindsay,
she's
just
like,
carry up your fucking bag
you
the two
left me.
steps.
I thought
She's
it
like, I
was so
can't
funny.
do this.
That was so funny. The girls are setting up a tablescape. Gabby and Sam are here. Sam looks like she came from a fucking ball. She's got her pearl necklace, but her outfit is like very normal. It was the pearl
Mhm.
necklace. She looked really fancy. Maya isn't coming this weekend. She had a wedding, and Kyle and Amanda then show up. They're pissed about parking, but we're all pumped to
We've
see
never had that
Robert.
many cars
Yeah.
at Summer House that we do this season. Everybody drives separately.
It's usually just Kyle's car and like one other.
Yep.
But now there's like 4 or 5 cars. So Kyle's pissed that he doesn't have parking. But we're all pumped to see Robert. So it's 6:46 p.m. Robert's cooking. Sam, Gabby, and Chris are roomies. And I immediately am like, this is the fun room. This is gonna be
I was
the
like,
room.
all right, I kind
This
of
is
like
it.
this. Like, we're switching up who's rooming with what. It's keeping it fresh and interesting. Like,
This
you
is the
can't just
fun
sit in your
room.
bedroom.
I wish the three or like Paige and Sierra, was there someone else in that room? Not this weekend. I wish we split that up, right? Paige was like, I'm gonna go sleep in the fun room. Or I know
I
they're
want
not
all the
gonna.
girls to be in the master. I want them to get ready together. I want this to be like a sorority
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
And they're
Chris
not
gets his
doing
own.
that. And
No.
it's really frustrating me.
Um, Kyle is trying to go, his dinner vibe is gonna be blonde hair Enrique Iglesias vibes. And I know his name, but all I think about is bridesmaids going, I'm Enrique Iglesias. Or Enrique Iglesias. You know how she says that,
No.
Kristen Wiig? Have you ever seen
Oh,
Bridesmaids?
I have, but I'm trying to
Enrique
recall it.
Iglesias.
I need to rewatch it, I guess.
Okay, everyone's getting dressed for dinner. Robert's still cooking for everyone. Amanda talks to Sierra and Paige about the lunch with Lindsay. Amanda says she wasn't really sure about it, but Lindsay got emotional because she was so hurt by Amanda. And so Amanda apologized. But immediately the girls are like, what'd you even apologize for? Like, what's Lindsay even mad at? And Amanda's like, we're gonna be like fine, but we're not gonna be besties.
I understood Paige being shocked to hear Lindsay was emotional because, again, Lindsay, the hard shell,
Yeah.
like, to hear that she cried, I'd be like, whoa, really? Like, that happened? But yeah, this is the mean girl shit that I don't like. Like,
let her get emotional and be sad.
I don't know. There really is. I'm really coming around on Lindsay weirdly, and I was not expecting this, especially this episode. But like, I feel like they find a torch of like, I hate Lindsay, and they're like, holding it the entire season, being like, what fuel can we add, and how can we just I can see from Lindsay's perspective how it's constantly Lindsay's the problem, XYZ, when it just doesn't need to be. This isn't interesting. The like night in, the like slumber party night, all right, cool, yeah, let's go after Lindsay in the moment, but the way they carry the torch week to week is too much.
They're like that thing that happened 7 weeks ago. Even though we apologize and move past it, we still fucking hate her.
Like, you weren't upset about this last weekend, so why are you now upset that Lindsay talked to Amanda and worked it out about something that happened at the reunion 3 months ago.
Agreed. I think it's wild. I'm a big Lindsay stan. I have said it before. This dynamic is not complicated.
No,
Lindsay
I'm not a burner at the stake for like something
No.
you weren't mad about. I'm willing to like burn her at the stake. Don't get me
Lindsay
wrong.
literally can say, I want macaroni and cheese, and they'll be like, why doesn't she want like macaroni and marinara sauce?
Yeah, they'll be like,
What the
I'm
fuck?
gluten-free. I can't believe you would ever
Oh
mention
my
that.
God. Yeah, it's like everything. And I'm like, the hell, this woman,
like,
you're
why
not even
can't she have
friends
mac
with
and cheese?
her. Stop caring about what she does. Don't give a
This is
fuck.
weird.
I'm
This
over
is
it.
weird, worthless.
So at 7:24, Danielle makes everyone take a pre-dinner shot. And Paige looks at Kyle and says, this is the second weekend she is sexually attracted to him.
Oh, interesting.
Ew. I mean, she's dating Craig, but like, ew.
True. I wonder what it is. Like, is it the style?
It's the outfit. It's the outfit is totally the way he's styled.
I guess. Yeah, I never saw that coming.
Okay, so it's 8:03 p.m. Thank you, Robert, for the dinner. They're like, Robert, what have you heard about this summer? And he's like, I heard the new class is a lot better than the old class. And you know what? He ain't wrong.
He ain't wrong. And I really like how he called them classes. I think that's a really good idea.
Hilarious. Once you're here for more than 4 summers, you're old class.
Well, it's like graduate, move on, close the yearbook, kind of like
I loved
been here
it.
forever.
It was amazing. So there's 3 couples in the house. So Paige wants to know, what's one thing when you moved in together that you didn't anticipate about the other person, but you deal with now?
Really quick before the answers come. This is timely because her and Craig were just talking about this, that I was like, oh, she's like asking this and starting this conversation truly to find some answers. And I want them to. Not that I'm ever going to live with a boy.
Well, everyone's like, are you gonna move in with Craig? And she's like, I'm just interested. I'm just feeling
curious what you have to say.
Which I also appreciate because she doesn't know them answers. She's just asking.
Yes.
We're thinking about it. Robert says the amount of stuff Danielle has everywhere because he's a minimalist. And Paige is like, fuck, I'm also a minimalist. I would throw my birth certificate out, but Craig loves shit.
When she said she would throw her birth certificate out if she felt like it wasn't like serving her, I was like, I can see it. It's funny because Paige does have a lot of stuff, but it's very like
minimalist vibes.
Yes.
Like
she
necessary.
Like, has a reason. Yes.
Like she won't just keep a bag because she has the bag. If she doesn't love it, it's gone.
I feel this way. The only thing I don't do this for is like memories. I have a really hard time throwing away like that shirt that I got for my class in 8th grade, like something that you can't buy again, like this desk. I could easily get rid of it because I could buy a desk again. But like memory boxes are the only crap that I hold on to. I love getting rid of stuff.
My shit is clothes because I'll always be like, what if I wear this later? Or like something that doesn't even fit from like high school. I'll be like, what if I lose weight?
Oh, I don't do that. It has to spark joy for me to like want to keep it.
Oh, I'm not like that. I'll keep whatever. I have shit galore, but I love a good clean out. I will dedicate myself.
Moving makes it so easy. I'm like, let's trim the fat.
I only love moving because I will get rid of shit. Okay, so Amanda asks Paige asks if Paige and Craig are seriously talking about moving in together. Paige says she's not ready. They haven't even farted in front of each other, and all the couples go, "You're not ready."
This kind of shocks me. They spend long enough times together. How has this never happened?
Where are they farting?
I don't know. I guess they're like eating really healthy because like
because healthy food makes you fart.
I just don't
gassy like artichokes make you,
and vegetables, especially like raw vegetables.
Garlic, you burp the hell after you.
How do you avoid this?
I don't know. After my first date with someone, I might have, or like the first time we're actually gonna spend like more than 24 hours together, I'd have to be like, listen, I don't know what we ate.
We're people, we're humans here.
Let's talk about it. I got stomach.
I mean, I would like try for a while not to purposely do it, but at a certain point, you're like, I gotta just live my life.
I think Hannah once said like she farts in her sleep, and that's my fear is like they're gonna be awake and I'm just gonna rip one in my
you're
sleep.
Asleep.
Yeah, and I won't even know.
No.
I know. Okay, so now Lindsay and Carl, what pisses you off about the other one? And Lindsay says every time Carl showers, he uses a new towel. This was why I didn't even know you could do that.
Well,
How many
of course you
towels?
can if you own enough towels.
How many towels do you have? I have 2.
I have 4.
Wow,
But I
that's a lot
use
of
2
towels.
at a time. I have a hair and a body
Oh,
towel. So like I
I
have 2
don't.
sets.
Yeah, I don't put my hair in a towel. I have 2 body towels.
I just can't imagine.
Wild.
What's the point?
I don't
It's
know.
not dirty yet. Sometimes I'm like, I really need to switch out this towel, but I don't want to.
I
I'm the
don't know.
opposite.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so the person's most annoying habits. Amanda immediately goes, breathing, which is so funny. But then Kyle's like, Amanda hates when I chew. And you see Amanda go, oh my God, I hate somebody chews. I
feel
hate
like
it.
Kyle just doesn't really understand people's like icks or things that grind their gears.
Yeah.
And that chewing, especially with a mouth open,
Is an
really
ick.
drives people nuts.
Yeah. Robert says waking up each morning, which I think Danielle's not a morning person, or was this a
Yes,
joke?
but it came off so he was like, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, he's like waking up each morning. And Danielle seemed to get it, and
Yeah.
everyone was like, that's so rude. And he's like, no. She's
Just
not a
the
morning
waking up
person.
part.
Like she's horrible when she wakes up. Okay, most dramatic moment you worked through. Amanda says dick size, which Kyle says, my dick is great, okay? And then Amanda's like, yeah, I finish first most times, which is wow, Kyle.
Listen, actually,
Good for
I can
you.
see Kyle like being good and like
I can't. I think Kyle's so bad
supportive
in
in
bed.
bed.
There's no way.
After a while, you kind of have
No.
to be. Like, I don't think Amanda would let that go for years and marry this guy.
I think Kyle's the worst in bed. No one can change my mind. I never want to find out. I never want to know the answer. Danielle and Robert agree it's work stuff / time they spend at work, because Robert works like 80 hours a week. And Robert says, but Danielle like works remotely, and Danielle does a really good job of making their home wherever Robert is.
Which is like hard to hear that, because it's like she's giving up so much to make this work.
Yeah, that's a big ask, right? Like they had an apartment together in Williamsburg, and then I think Robert started getting jobs in Montauk and Aspen in Colorado.
Yeah.
So Danielle would go with him, and I think it's hard, right? You pick up your whole life and you're like, I'll go to Montauk to spend with you, but what are you doing while he's at work for 8 hours?
Whereas like he's more than 8 hours, it seems. Like he
80.
is working 8. I thought you said 8, and I was like, he is
80.
not just working 8 hours a day.
No.
Yeah, like you're alone a lot. I think of it similar to like professional athletes. Like you're kind of just abandoned in these cities where you have no one.
Yeah. So I think that like it broke my heart a little, because I think Danielle was giving a lot in this relationship. And I'm not saying Robert like has anything to do with that, right? Like he's a chef. This is his job.
Yeah.
She knew that going into
it's just
here,
the situation.
It's a bad situation where I think they're both like trying to make this relationship work, and it's like you can see the cracks a little bit.
Definitely.
So Lindsay asked Paige the most annoying thing about Craig, and Paige was like, oh, I feel bad because Craig's not here to defend himself. And Lindsay's like, oh, and you were asking the questions, like I just thought you're also in a couple. And Paige was like, oh, Chris asked the most annoying question, but fine, since Lindsay's triggered, Craig's most annoying thing is that he's long distance. And I was like, that's not a habit though.
No. I also was like, Lindsay, why are you so up in arms? Everybody's not participating. It seems like Lindsay does not want anything negative at all concerning her relationship, ever.
Not even Carl using multiple towels, which isn't even that bad. If anything, that's his serial killer trait. I was like,
yes.
Yeah, it's a serial killer trait. So, okay, so new question. Gabby asked when the perfect time to invest in something together is, right? Like a house, a car, what is it? So it sounds like Amanda, Kyle, Robert, and Danielle, they have like their separate bank accounts and then a joint account for like shared expenses, which I completely support and agree with. I think we should all have our own money. Lindsay and Carl also have a shared account. Lindsay makes a joke that Gabby doesn't know what it's like to pay for groceries, and Gabby just plays along. She's like, nope, you're right. And Lindsay's like, yeah, because Gabby's got joint accounts like with her parents, and Gabby's like, yeah, I got my parents' cards on lock. What are we gonna do about it? It's
interesting how much this like Gabby's privileged like underlying story constantly kind of comes up, which is really interesting. I feel like we've never talked about this stuff with other people. Paige is the only one I remember getting money for rent, or like that being actually talked about.
Yeah, but they didn't like I feel like give her a hard time. I don't know if they're
No,
giving Gabby a hard time or if they're just
I
like
think they are giving her a
talking
hard
about
time.
it. But also it's like kind of tacky to talk about people's money. Like, right? Like to say we have joint accounts is one thing, but to say like
To give a dig about it.
I make way more money than Carl, so I put in like more percentage or like I put in more money. That would be like really tacky to talk about, right? But like I think Gabby at this point is just like brushing it off. Like, yeah, so I have my parents' like bank account. What's it for? What's it to you? Like, I'll sit here and say I'm as Alicia, like I am privileged in the sense that my parents have helped me out with a lot, right? Like
Yeah, same.
when I moved into my first apartment, my mom bought me my couches for like my present for like moving out, which is not necessary, right? Like that's wild that my mom did that. But like that is so nice.
I wouldn't want it used against me then.
No, I wouldn't want people to be like, oh, well, I can like spill on your couch because you didn't even pay for it. Right? Like I'd be like, wait, what the fuck?
And
or
you
like,
know what? Like all these like the people kind of making comments about it have been outside of Maya have been on this show enough to get to reap the benefits, the monetary benefits of being on a television show. And like Gabby's on the first year, so it's not like she's like making bank on this show. She hasn't made probably a dime yet until this actually starts airing.
Yeah.
So I just found it weird that like these people who have just been I mean, fine, you can take the money from the show, like you're obviously doing a job, but are just like kind of looking down on her. Like, I feel like parents supporting you isn't that crazy. Like, millennials are actually the first generation that are poorer than their parents.
Yes. Also, I don't understand why we have to take generational wealth and like put that against people. Like if my parents worked really hard and they want to help me, like fine. I highly doubt Gabby sounds really close to her parents. I doubt Gabby's like, mom, dad, give me your credit card, like that kind of shit. I'm sure her parents are like, hey, do you need money for groceries? We're gonna send you some. Like my mom will randomly send me toilet paper because she wants to, because like she's like, I figured you might need toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like it's just nice shit that people do.
It's little things. It's like her parents just set it up that maybe like Instacart is hooked up to their credit card. And so they don't give her cash every once in a while. Or I felt
we don't know Gabby's
weird
financial like means either. We don't know if she's working. We don't know if she's like trying to make it in an industry. I know we like heard she's a director, but I think she's in between jobs right now.
Like, what if this is temporary? Like while she doesn't have a job, her parents are helping her out. I
don't understand, right? Like Shep on Southern Charm, he has generational wealth and no one's ever like, oh, Shep's parents pay for his grocery. No one's shitting on him. Like when
Gabby it's a trust fund, we don't care.
Yeah,
but when it's like directly to somebody's credit card, like we care. I thought this was so weird.
I thought this was super weird. Yeah. Okay, so whatever. Let's go to the club. It's 10:36 p.m. We're pre-gaming, dancing, cleaning up. Danielle and Gabby then talk. Gabby said she doesn't know where she stands in the group and she wants to open up to Sierra, but she doesn't feel comfortable. And Danielle's like, well, I'm kind of the worst person you can talk to this about because she threw a wine glass at me last season. But Danielle's basically like, I get it. I get that she's a tough nut to crack. And Gabby said she's struggling with like this underlying tension with Sierra. Like when they argued over signs, Sierra kind of came at her a little hard. I would have laughed. I would have been like, you sound crazy for not loving Tauruses, girl.
I feel like, and this isn't a bad thing for Gabby. I feel like if Gabby doesn't find an immediate connection with someone, she gets really in her head then about the relationship about them. Like her and Paige bonded over the signs and stuff. I feel like I would have trouble being friends with Gabby because there's just not something we immediately click on. And I can see how Sierra is like a more guarded person. Like it takes her like longer to warm up. So these types of personalities are immediately going to be a clash in the friendship thing. Yeah, I don't think I'd be good at being friends with Gabby.
I think Sierra's a tough nut to crack. However, if Gabby turns to you and is like, I don't trust Tauruses or whatever.
I would have been Sierra.
Here's the thing. No, but Sierra went like, I don't know why you're coming at signs. Some of my best friends are Tauruses. I would have been like, I don't know what the fuck that means, Gabby, but dope for you. If you don't like a Taurus, okay. Like I would have not even, I wouldn't have argued with her and been like, I actually know a lot of great Tauruses. I would have been like,
I don't think I would have done that, but I would have been in between you two where I would have been like, why do you make all these decisions over signs? Like And I don't think she would have liked that.
This is like a Crystal's thing. If it works for you, do what you gotta do. Also, she was right about Gemini men because Tom Sandoval's a Gemini. We all know how that fucking turned out.
It was about Cancer men.
Oh, is it Cancer?
Yeah, because I'm a Cancer. So I kind of took it personally, even though I'm a female.
She didn't say female. She loves Cancer females. So Cancer men, sorry, not Gemini. But she was right. Tom Sandoval's a Cancer man. So I mean, Gabby might be onto something, right? Like,
you're not wrong.
I don't know.
I'm not shocked that these two are not having a budding relationship.
I am a little bit, just because like she's friends with Paige, and Paige and Sierra are besties. I thought, but I also think Sierra was, when she met Paige, she was more open because she was the new girl, right? I think now Sierra has her group of quote unquote the mean girls, if we will. She's not looking for proactive.
She's not good at being proactive. If other people are proactive in like making friends with her, I think she will sit back and let the friendship develop, but you have to put in most of the work early on in the friendship with Sierra.
Yeah, which Gabby's not going to do.
No.
She's got groceries to buy on her parents' credit card, okay? Leave her the fuck alone. Anyway, so so they talk. Then the timestamp goes backwards 20 minutes to 10:16 p.m., which, bravo, I caught you. I went back, I looked at it. Fuck you guys.
One of Alicia's pet peeves right here. Get your editing in order, or like lie to me about the time.
Lie? I don't care what time it is. That's just how we go through the podcast. Okay, so we're getting ready to go out. The Ubers are here. Let's go. So now it's 10:51. We're at Ultra. It's like a rave. Everyone's
really
dancing.
Empty.
Yeah, but it's lit. I mean, like, we're dancing.
I was having fun.
Shots. Yes. But then we cut to Lindsay and Carl.
No.
They're sitting on the side, and Lindsay goes, well, shall we go hang out with the group? And Carl's like, no, let's stay here and stare into each other's eyes. And Lindsay kind of laughs, and Carl's like, no, let's actually sit here. And I was like, ew, sir.
I was like, ew. You are purposely doing this. It's not like you were sitting at a table, other people got up, and you just happened to be like enamored with each other. You are purposely separating yourself from this group. I'm not okay with it.
The other thing is, Lindsay is like, should we go in? Like, she's trying, I feel like, to go in.
But Carl's, she won't like, close the deal.
Nah.
You know?
Yeah. Here's the other thing. I get Lindsay's a grown-ass woman. She's not going to do anything she does not want to do. And I get she's being sober for her man. I fully respect those points. I get it. However, I saw Carl do an interview this week where he's like, no, if Lindsay wanted to go out, she could go out. Like, I wasn't holding her back, but like, we've done the Montauk thing. Why would we do that? Sir, you may not be saying, Lindsay, do not go. Yeah. But you're really hinting like, don't leave me. And what's she gonna do? Be like, bye?
You're not holding the door open for her to take these opportunities.
Yeah, she also loves quality time and acts of service. Like, she loves love. So she's gonna do this service to you and stand by you so you're not alone. But dude, she loves
Here's the thing, party. She's okay with doing both.
Yeah, but balance.
But this is 8 weeks of your life. Hold that door open for her and be like, you're gonna have so much fun, babe. Have a great time.
Or get off my TV. Or get the fuck off my TV. I don't give a fuck if I'm in the winter, you guys pull this shit. I truly don't care.
Agreed.
If it's summer house,
don't you dare do this while we're filming.
Jesus hell, let Lindsay Hubbard loose, baby. Okay, so Carl convinces her to stay. They start making out. Everyone watches, and he calls her. She calls.
No, this was terrible. I can't.
She calls him Big Daddy.
Gross. That makeout was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I would rather kiss my own brother on the lips than have that happen. All of that scene, I would rather peck my brother than see that shit go down.
Like how they do on Teen Mom, where they kiss on the lips.
Yes, I'd rather peck my brother one time on the lips than ever be in a moment like that. I swear to God, if I'm about to marry someone and this moment happens to me, I'm done. That's my red flag. I'm out immediately.
The Big Daddy thing just. But plus they're like, ooh, like while they're making
out, they try to make it so cute.
So
and it is
sexy.
The opposite.
Like they're trying to be like, ooh, look how sexy we are. Everyone's like, this is not a porn. This is worse. This is like worse than any porn I've ever seen in my life. This is awful.
Like, do you think they think it's cute?
What's worse, this or the nurse?
The nurse? Oh, this was
This
worse.
was worse. This was horrible.
Because
This was
I can
way
play
worse.
that off, like the nurse moment being like, oh, that is awkward to do in front of a camera. But like,
And she's in a costume and it's weird.
it's
This was
cheesy.
in front of so many people and so weird. It was so weird.
It just like, even if a camera's not there, this would all be weird.
They are so aware of the camera. Like they're like, it's so weird. Ugh, I hated it. You have to be really in love with someone to do this and still go home with them.
And to pull it off is really difficult on camera.
And to still be like, we're still in love. If this happened to me, like you said, I'm out. I'd be like, what is happening?
I have broken off situationships for less.
For way less. For way less. This was a nightmares. Okay, so glad we made it through that. It's now 12:38 a.m. We're home. Kyle says, hey guys, is anyone cool anymore? And he puts the music.
He was the only one in the kitchen. I thought everybody was home at this point, and I was like, I swear to God, if it's just Kyle in the kitchen, I'm gonna lose it. But thank God.
Don't even worry.
Robert walks in. I think Chris was with him. Robert has a whole bottle of 18. Is it called 1840? That tequila?
Yeah.
I was like, here we go.
814? I don't know.
1840.
Whatever.
It's a year.
Yeah,
Don Julio.
Kyle, I don't know. It's Kyle, Sam, Gabby, Chris, and Robert. Listen, say what you want, but the new class is better than the old class.
Hell yeah.
Sorry. There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
There's fucking 3. Robert, too. He's dancing his ass off. He is lit.
Nobody except like hindsight's 2020. Like, we didn't know Robert had to be at work tomorrow, but like nobody has anything on the show to do tomorrow, but like show things that are planned.
Yes.
Why can't you sit when you get home and dance a little bit in the kitchen? I'm not saying you have to stay up forever, but like come home and you know, a song or two, bop around, and then like Irish goodbye upstairs.
Yeah. So we didn't know Robert had work the next day. I thought he was here for the weekend. So as Danielle is now texting him, like, I don't want to dance, come upstairs, come to bed.
I was like, who are you?
What a wet blanket.
Yeah.
But I get it. I take back all the bad thoughts.
I do. But in the moment, I was like, no, shut the why are you trying to Danielle. Mood kill it? Like, I understand. I feel for you that you don't have a lot of time with your boyfriend, but I don't have any time with him. So like, give me this moment.
This was awesome. Robert's dancing his ass off, breaking it down. Kyle breaks something while they're dancing. And then at 2:56, so like 2 hours later, everyone's going to bed. Kyle's talking nonsense. Robert breaks the bed as he's getting in. And Danielle,
it was already broken. Danielle said don't feel bad. It's broken. But he is fully clothed when he goes to bed. And I love when people go to bed fully clothed.
Or naked like Kyle. He fully can't bother to find pajamas. So it's Saturday, 9:02 a.m. This is where I was like, Robert should have went to bed.
Yes.
And hung out with Danielle, right? Okay, I'm going to say it. Robert's here for one night.
Yeah.
His priority should be Danielle if this is the one time they're really going to see each other.
In real life,
I get he wants to party.
For my entertainment, no.
No, I get for his relationship, he should have just went to bed with Danielle.
Yeah. And his work life balance.
And his work life, but that's B. So he's so hungover and he's gonna be late for work. He can't find his phone. We find out later he should have left at 7. It is 9.
I was like, whoa.
Wow, that's a big difference. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
So Danielle's calling his phone. He finds it in the kitchen, whatever. Danielle wishes they could have spent more time together. I'm like, yeah, this sucks, girl. This is the worst. I'm
sorry,
girlie. I feel the hurt, right? Mm-hmm. I feel the hurt of Danielle going, I just wish like Robert and I had more time. Quality time. And so she's like, I just wish there was a manual on like how to date a chef. And the producer's like, don't.
I'm telling you, I think the interviews are after they broke up. She does a good job like being as neutral as she can about it. But like, these are the moments I'm like, you look so hurt and I'm so sorry, girlie.
I know. I really like felt for her, but so Robert leaves because he's 2 hours late for shift.
And that's on the job. Like when I'm hungover for work, I just lay in my bed and like move my mouse. Like you got to do shit.
Yeah, dude, we're 30s. We don't recover the same way, okay? You can't be
No.
doing this if you gotta leave for you have a 7 a.m. work time.
You got a darty then. You
Wild.
cannot.
You can't.
You can't party till 3 in the
You
morning.
shouldn't. No, you should have went to bed, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's Saturday, 10:09 a.m. We're getting ready for the party bus. Chris, Kyle, and Carl are like stretching / working out. They talk about how fun last night was, and like they wish they had more bros. It was nice having Robert's male energy here. You know how bros
It is.
are.
I think the influx of people do bring a different vibe, and it helps people like all huddle around one
Yes.
person. Like it's just not Kyle and Carl staring at each other.
It brings the house together too.
Yeah.
It's like we gotta have fun for Robert.
And we all want to hang out with the person in town, so we can't be beefing.
Yeah.
If we all want to spend time with Robert.
So Carl says they should have a proper initiation for Chris into like their boy gang.
Oh God,
I
this
love
is so cheesy.
I love boyfriends. Look at these boyfriends. Do you know how uncomfortable men get when you call their friendships like
boyfriends?
You can go hang out with your boyfriend.
I love that idea. I like that.
Also,
every season on Summer House, they usually do a girls go out and the guys stay in. I like it a lot. Yeah.
I also, for women who also want to just emasculate their man even more, if he's going to hang out with his friends or he's having his friends over, you can be like, oh my God, what time are your friends coming for your play date? I did that to my dad in COVID and he lost his shit.
I'm gonna start doing that when my dad has like fantasy baseball drafts.
Be like, what time's your play date?
Your little baseball play date?
What time's your play
date?
Your
little baseball themed play date?
But you say it's so serious. Be like, what time's your play date? And they'll be like, what?
Use me?
Or like, have you talked to your boyfriends about the play date?
I like the boyfriends.
Like, what? It's wild. Whenever my dad's like, I'm hanging out with my friends, or I'm like, oh, what time are you and your boyfriends going out? And he's like, what? And I'll be like, oh, I say with my mom, like with mom girlfriends. And he's like, it's not the same. I go, it's literally the same.
Literally the same. I swapped.
So from now on, instead of the bros, I'm gonna be like, so the boyfriends get together.
Love
yeah. So it's 11:32 a.m. Time to go on the bus. The bus smells like cocaine and cigarettes.
Oh God, this really brought me to Vanderpump Rules. I was like,
thought
these
of
are the
Kristen
vibes.
Doty.
The back of Sir. Like
I thought of Kristen Doty, who smells like stale beer and cigarettes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 12:33 p.m. We get to the winery. We're gonna do like a winemaking blending experience, and we're all gonna make our own blend. Lindsay's chugging them down. Everyone's blending. Lindsay's like, I like this one. Chug.
Yeah,
I like
some people
this
are like,
one.
eh. And then poor Carl, they're like, sorry, no non-alc. We've got tea for you.
He gets an Arnold Palmer. I love an Arnold Palmer. I also love Lindsay going, oh, I don't like this one. Chug. It was so funny. She's so funny.
This is how I know, like, Lindsay wants to rage.
She's trying to rage. Okay, so then we start discussing, wine topics. What's the easiest orgasm everyone's ever had? Kyle's was in high school. That makes a lot of sense.
That's I love thinking about Kyle losing his virginity when we were born.
Ew. Okay, so also Sam says, I screamed. Sam says she once had a guy spit in her mouth and she loved it. And Kyle is so offended, but Paige goes, I agree. And Kyle again is so offended.
I love that Sam finds joy in offending Kyle. She's like, all right, new like constant thing to hit is how Sam can I make Kyle freaked out?
She should just make shit up now about her sex life. Be like,
no,
oh my God.
We don't need another Jordan incident.
But just to offend Kyle. Okay. And when he looks away, she turns to the group and goes, no.
I wanted the story behind this. Like
the spit?
What? Tell me the context.
Why?
Please.
I think you got it. He just spit in her mouth. You don't need context. He just
spit in her mouth. I feel like I'm either gonna be grossed out and it's gonna be another Lindsay Carl moment, or I'm gonna be
they weren't. It could have been that Lindsay or Carl could have spit in Lindsay's mouth there, and it would have been. That's
gross.
It. Yeah, they just spit in your mouth.
Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like ew. I hate this conversation.
I do too. Let's move on.
Great. Okay, so they go play bags. Sierra, Alex, Amanda, and Sam. Sierra says Amanda's the participation trophy type of girl, which is so rude because she's really good at bags.
Yeah. No, I don't. Well, I feel like this is a comment that you're like, I don't know if you're going to know this is rude.
I feel like it might be true. But Amanda's like, you're gonna eat your words.
No, but I think Amanda in general is a participation trophy kind of girl. She's here to like have fun, whereas you and I are like,
That's
we're gonna
true.
win this shit.
Yeah, I'm competitive.
And I'm like, listen, I don't mean that as a dig to some people, but like you may take it as a dig, but I don't mean it as a dig. I'm just saying you're not on my level of like competitiveness or skill.
You're right. Okay, and then Kyle and Carl go through the vines and eat some grapes. Gabby, Danielle, Paige, and Lindsay play a card game. Danielle feels like Sierra needs saving from Alex. So cut to
Chris.
Or not Alex, Chris. Fuck.
I thought you said Alex earlier, but I thought I was being
Did I?
crazy. Yeah.
My face is shook. Did I do that? Here's the thing. For some reason, I started typing Alex in this episode and I was like, why? I know it's Chris.
I wonder if it was the A's because you said Alex and Amanda, and I wonder if it was the alliteration of it.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, but
I did write Alex right there. So
I was confused by Danielle saying she needs to save Sierra. Was it because she was talking to Chris and they know that Sierra isn't into Chris, but he's kind of trying?
I think so. Or that Chris is just a little awkward.
Is it because she didn't have wine and they wanted to get her a drink? I didn't want to read into it and be like, oh, Chris is the guy that, you keep getting trapped with and you don't want to talk to, but you're like, I don't need to be mean.
No, I think they know Chris is just a little awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've heard, right? He did not spend a lot of time with women growing up. Yeah. He went right into the Marines. But he says he's here trying, and we respect that. But I think Sierra, who's a veteran player, given she did spend a lot of time on Austin, which is like a hit to her stock, but
she does end up with talking to Chris a lot, and I think Danielle takes note.
Yeah. Okay, so she goes to save Sierra just as Chris is asking if she's ever had a patient that's hot. Chris, you've got to move on. This is like asking a girl when she says, I'm about to shower, if you can hop in too. Okay, get off the nurse hot thing. Okay,
like not everything needs to be a weird quirky joke.
And no one wants their profession to be known as like hot. Not like even like don't ask sex workers like anything weird. Don't ask accountants anything weird. Like it's not a sexual. Our jobs are not sexual.
Stop sexualizing jobs. Just in general.
Yeah. But I get he's out on these streets, but he is rough.
But you're going down the wrong street. You're going the opposite way on a one way.
Yeah. So Danielle does save Sierra. Bye, Chris. Okay, so now it's 2:37 p.m. We're still at the winery. Danielle and Sierra talk. Sierra's a vibes person. She's not really vibing with Chris. We also talk about how like with Sam, can't believe Sierra and Sam are the same age. Sierra seems like so much older. I know.
She does, but I think that's also just years on the show.
I think so too. We just know her more. Mm-hmm. Sierra hasn't had like one-on-one with Gabby or Sam, and Danielle tells Sierra like when Gabby talks, you roll your eyes.
And that's not cool.
And Sierra just feels like Gabby's surface level, and it's hard to tap into like with Gabby on a deeper level, and Sierra just can't fake it. And Danielle's like, I get that, like we're similar because we don't like surface level, but like with Gabby, there's a lot going on under the surface, and Sam and Gabby like can't offer a lot, so Sierra needs to give them a shot. And Sierra's
I like that Danielle was like, the other night I literally had a really good conversation with like Sam about, not surface level things. Like I think Danielle's trying to nicely point out like, well, you got to ask some questions. You got to dig a little deeper.
You're being kind of a bitch.
Yeah. Like this is your fault. Like this is on you to help take it deeper.
Yeah. And Sierra knows she's more guarded. We're working on that in therapy, but we're going to try.
You know what? As long as she's working at it, I'll give her a slight pass, but she's got to do some work as a veteran person on the show.
Yes. I also want to, so next, there's nothing less attractive than watching Carl drag a wagon. I've never been less sexually attracted to Carl.
Knew this would frickin' tip. I just knew this was coming.
It was so funny. He drops Lindsay and Gabby. It was so fucking funny.
This I loved. It was lighthearted, something silly, and I felt like we were like season 2, like all drunk running around in a vineyard.
Agree. Carl pulling that wagon was so unattractive.
I agree.
I never want that.
And
okay,
this is how Carl can show up and not drink. Like
Yes.
weird little moments like
This
this.
was
Just
fun.
participate and have fun with people who are not just your girlfriend.
yes. So we go back on the party bus. Lindsay's like, my boyfriend just fucking dropped me on my face. So let's have a girls' dinner. And the boys are like, yeah, guys' night, boyfriend night.
Threesome boyfriend night.
You just make it like boys get so mad. Okay, so we get back to the house. Everyone gets ready. Chris tries to get on a float, tries to get a floaty.
Oh,
this was so funny.
I wanted him to fall in so bad.
I did too. The floaty was in the pool. He was trying to get the floaty without getting in the pool. So he put the floaty in the hot tub and then get in the floaty in the hot tub. It was so funny to watch this man try and get this floaty. Like I was like, stop so cutting. Dumb. Stop cutting to other shit.
I like this about Summer House. We get stupid little bits that mean nothing as like a palate cleanser to move on.
So stupid. So the girls are at this restaurant. It looks super nice. They all sit down and Lindsay says she tries not to drink, like really drink in front of Carl. But tonight we're balls to the wall. Let's fucking go.
Well, you could have went balls to the wall last weekend without him.
You wish. Okay, so it's boys' night. Kyle and Carl fill up some patriotic duck bong for Chris to drink out of.
It was an eagle. It's not a duck. Oh. We had this on 4th of July. And I said I would do this. And you're like, this is dumb.
It is dumb. It was a duck.
It's a bald eagle.
I'm not pro
America. We're reusing our props because we haven't had enough themes this summer. We only have like 3 themes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so they call Chris a pledge and tell him to bend over. And then Carl has this paddle. And I was like, oh my God.
No. It was a charcuterie board.
Yeah, it was a charcuterie board, like, because they don't have a paddle. But so Chris in his interview is like, I'm not nervous. Okay, these are 2 grown men. They're like nearly fucking 40.
These boyfriends.
Yeah, the boyfriends. I'm just happy the boyfriends aren't fighting so we can actually have a good time. And Chris is like, if I need to like strip down and get hit with a fucking charcuterie board, I'll do it. Like, Jesus.
I have never loved Chris more as a player in this show in my life for being like, I will take anything as long as they're not fighting. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
The number 1 B character. Like he is.
Yes.
He knows his role and he's serving all of it.
Yes. I just need him to like get a little bit better for his own sake with chatting with people.
Yeah. I also loved him pretending he's scared and like biting on the flowers.
He gave it.
He's like on his knees and he's like, oh my God. And he leans over and they do 3, 2, 1. And then like Carl doesn't actually hit him. They just laugh. And Chris is like, ha, funny. But he's like, you guys are bitches.
He's like, okay, I'm glad, like, hope you guys bond over this. This better be worth it for like good times next weekend.
Yeah, are we done? Can you guys stop fighting now? Okay, so back to girls' dinner. This is the first time the girls have had Lindsay's to themselves. Not that anyone even wanted that, except Danielle. The rest of y'all, well, I'll leave Sam and Gabby out of it, but the rest of y'all don't want Lindsay to yourself.
I think they do want girls' moment. I think maybe it's that they don't want Lindsay, but they don't want Lindsay and Carl to be by themselves all the time.
That's it. They don't want Lindsay. They don't want to see what we saw at the club. Okay.
Yes. They're willing to like hang out with Lindsay to not get that stuff.
Yeah. Jesus. I would too. I'd be like, I'll hang out with anyone to stop that. Dude. So Lindsay tries to be respectful around Carl and not go balls to the wall. But tonight, that's exactly what she wants because she really never gets drunk anymore. But Carl doesn't care if she gets drunk. And I get this. The best part about being drunk is being drunk with people. But like if you're just gonna go home to your sober boyfriend, why are you gonna get
or you can't just get drunk with your sober boyfriend,
especially when you're trying to support them in your sober drink. It makes me, like I said, a little sad because I love Lindsay drunk.
I agree. I think I understand.
I get the growth.
Living more of a sober life. I just wish she would then in turn seek out social environments that she got to, be drunk in. And like, it just doesn't seem like she's seeking out the alternate, to have these moments without Carl.
I agree. Which is fine. You don't have to, but like, I wish.
Yes.
I wish we could go out without Carl, but
it's like we said though, in the winter, you can do this, but in the summer, don't do this on my TV screen.
I don't give a fuck in the winter. Okay, so the whole time Danielle's like making these weird faces where before I said Danielle's not being a good friend. I think this is super rude.
Yeah.
But Lindsay says, it's like normal for couples to, not get drunk if one person's sober and whatever. But they bring up Lindsay and Montauk last week, right? Like, why didn't Lindsay go? It seemed like she wanted to go. And
I
Lindsay
like that they
said,
ask her directly. I feel like
do too.
they haven't really talked about this outside of the conversation. What was it? Paige and Maya had, which like that was like shortly after like reacting to it. I think that's fine. But I'm glad there hasn't been like this behind her back, telephone game of like, oh my God, Lindsay, like making her the villain behind her back. I like that they're actually talking to her.
Agreed. So Lindsay says there was a reason, or like there wasn't a reason for her to go to Montauk without Carl. And Danielle says she takes strong offense to this. Let's get through the combo and then we'll like really dive into it. And Lindsay's kind of like whatever. Okay. And Danielle says she feels sad because she wants to steal Lindsay, but knows like that's not a possibility anymore. And Danielle says it's not that she doesn't want Carl there, but Lindsay's like curbing her drinking intensity when she's around Carl. And Sam brings up that her last boyfriend was sober for 10 years and her drinking habits shifted, which I think makes sense. If you're with someone that's sober, you're not going to be
like
drunk
overall, that's not wild.
That's not weird.
Yeah.
I think if you don't want that, then don't do, like, you shouldn't be doing that for another person. You shouldn't
suppress who you are for that person.
Yeah, I agree. So Lindsay said she's having girls' night tonight, so she doesn't have to censor herself. And we don't even need to talk about this. And Paige is like, Lindsay, why do you get mad whenever we talk about your relationships or friendships? And Lindsay's like, I don't get mad.
I'm not mad.
I'm not. But then Paige is like, this is a normal conversation.
It was very chill. Like that. Yeah, the tone.
This was super chill.
But Lindsay was getting very defensive in her tone. Like, I'm not. She was getting a little tense.
Lindsay though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're right.
Lindsay feels like Danielle's being really hard on her, and Danielle says if your best friend isn't hard on you, she shouldn't be your best friend. Period. Okay. Here, like I said, I've stewed over this.
Let's do it.
Because I saw the hate for Danielle on Twitter, and I'm like, there's no way. Like, I see it so differently. So I have been Danielle in this situation, given it was high school. And I want to explain to you what happened. Okay. But my best friend got a boyfriend. We were like 15. They could not live without each other, these two. Given it's less healthy at 15 than at like 36, where Lindsay is. But I was very like, stop hanging out with this dude. Come hang out with me, or you never hang out with me. Even if there were parties that the boyfriend wasn't going to, she wouldn't go so she could like stay on the phone with him and like talk to him, and she wouldn't go with me. So I took strong offense. Like, we are best friends. Why aren't we hanging out? Again, we're 15, but I was like, love me, be my friend. She then would tell her boyfriend, like, Alicia keeps wanting to hang out with me. Like, she thinks I'm spending too much time with you. And then the boyfriend spread a rumor that I'm a lesbian for my best friend. So that was really like super fun for me. But which I wasn't mad. I was just like, it's not true. We're just friends, whatever. I don't have to explain myself.
Yeah.
But like, it was hard to literally be like, I'm not, I just like, in my 15-year-old brain couldn't express of like, I'm just trying to spend time with you because I love you and I miss you. And like, my love language is quality time.
Yeah.
And like, we don't have that anymore. And I think there's two types of couples. I think there's couples that isolate themselves because they're each other's one and only. And I think that's kind of Lindsay and Carl, right? Like, I don't see anything breaking them up because they are all they have in the world. And then there are couples like Paige and Craig where they both have outside lives and they're not gonna like bend their lives to meet the other person. And do I think
like
Paige
they'll compromise on some things, but not like everything?
But for the most part, they are individuals who are
they're like parallel bars, just living life together rather than one bar.
Yeah, and
they're not melding everything.
Yeah, and I see more things breaking up Paige and Craig, right? I don't think anything's wrong with either relationship if you are a full-fledged adult. If you are a kid at 15, please do not isolate everyone. Anyway, if you're a full-fledged adult and you can think for yourself, you can be in whatever relationship. However, there are pros and cons to both. And with Lindsay and Carl, a big pro is that I don't think they're going to break up. They're going to be in love. It's going to be amazing. A con is that they are going to alienate a lot of other people out of their lives. And that is Danielle. And Danielle and Robert have a relationship where they run parallel to each other.
Yeah, so it's hard to see
it's hard.
Understand the different relationship if you're not that type of person.
Yes. And I think too, right, when you lose your friend to a relationship,
that's hard.
It's hard. And Danielle is losing 2 friends to a relationship, right?
Yeah.
And so not only
never
that,
thought about even that.
Yeah, she's lost 2 friends this relationship. And not only that, she's lost her group because it was the 3 amigos. So she's lost her safe space.
Most inner circle too. Like it's not just like she's lost 2 friends. This is the people she did like weeknight things with. Yeah,
she lost her safe space to this relationship. So I see her frustration and her hurt, right? She also doesn't really have her own relationship. She's losing that to a job.
Yeah.
So I see the hurt.
She's like free falling.
Yeah, and I see the offense, right? I understand her being like, you could have come out with me and I'm offended you didn't. But I see Lindsay too. She's not thinking about that because in her,
and not just didn't, in that moment, Lindsay says there was no reason. So then that's another slight that Danielle is taking is like, I'm not a reason to go out for.
Yes. But Lindsay doesn't see it that way because she's like trapped in this like whole relationship.
Yeah.
The point of me telling my story, right, was I thought I was right? Like my friend should not be in this relationship. I am right. Well, whatever. She's out of the relationship, whatever. It doesn't matter. But we aren't friends for multiple reasons. Me and this girl are not friends. And
after she got out of that relationship, did your friendship ever bounce back?
Kind of, but she got in another relationship where again, I think she's just the type of person to lose herself in relationships.
Yeah.
And so we're not friends. I think I can now take a step back and see where I was wrong, right?
Yeah.
Where I went wrong, communicating with her, speaking with her. We were 18 in her next relationship that she lost herself in. So again, I'm not a fully fledged adult, but she also thinks she is right. Whether or not she's done the reflecting of like, I see where my friendship went wrong, fine. I don't really care, but either way, neither one of us has taken a step. We will see each other in public and she will not acknowledge my existence. So it's literally like, I don't think she's done the work, right? Because I'll say hi because I understand what I've done wrong. But I also need that acknowledgement from her to be like, this is where I went wrong. So then looking at this from Lindsay and Danielle, I had hope that they could maybe like redo the friendship. I, after this episode, have zero hope that this friendship is going to come back together until like 10 years later when they are so fully removed that they can do the work to see where the other person was coming from.
Yeah.
I have zero hope for this friendship coming back.
I would be a Danielle in this situation.
I would too.
That's how I would operate in relationships because growing up have always been a big community person. Like there's so many people in my life. Like I literally was raised in truly what you would call like a village. Like other people's parents parented me. Like I just can't imagine not having such a community based in friendships and that being actually like a huge part of my world. And to me, like it always looks very codependent with Lindsay and Carl. Like they only have each other, and it just comes off to me as very unhealthy. Like you need other people to support you in other ways. Like your partner can't be your everything. And so it worries me, like you saying like, oh, I can see more things to break up Lindsay or Craig and Paige. I see the opposite. I'm like, I can see a lot of outside factors breaking up Paige and Craig, but I can see a lot of internal factors breaking up Lindsay and Carl. Like that they can't make each other happy. Like you've got to find your own happiness. And I feel like they're putting maybe happiness on each other. Granted, I don't know the relationship, but that's just what these moments come off as, is like you're putting so much of your world inside of one person rather than spreading it out amongst all these people that love you and finding love in your friendships. And it makes me so sad to see this being lost, because I would be Danielle. Like I would take great offense if my friend said she didn't have a reason, like I wasn't a reason to go out, like to go to Montauk. And like I don't think Lindsay sees
I don't either.
the harshness that Danielle is taking it as. And so
Yes.
that's another reason I don't think that it'll take years, because I think it'll take a long while for Lindsay to not only hear it, but be receptive to that information.
Yes. Here's where I think Danielle goes really wrong, right? She makes these faces, and I don't think she
It's very
communicates.
passive aggressive.
It's passive aggressive, and it's always in a public setting.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle needs to like go up to Lindsay, even if she's in front of Carl, and be like, yo, I really need a friend. Can we please have a conversation, to get Lindsay away and have Lindsay be really open and be like, Lindsay, listen, like and Danielle
this
needs
is what
to,
I need from you
I
as a
think
friend.
Danielle also needs to recognize her hurt, right? She needs to sit there and be like, I'm really hurting because of X, Y, and Z outside of our relationship,
Mhm.
but I feel like I don't have support in this relationship. And I understand you are in like a relationship, like a fully healthy thing with Carl.
Yeah.
Because Lindsay's not going to see anything, but you can't attack that relationship.
No.
She's not going to see it.
No,
So
you got to make it about
to,
your friendship and the support you need.
You have to be like, I love that you guys are together. I just feel like so alone. Like I'm free falling, like you said. I really need, can we set it aside, like even just 1 hour a week for us to grab a drink, like together? I really just miss you and I'm hurting.
Yeah.
And like, I love Carl, but I just need my girlfriend. Like I need my best friend. Danielle needs to get vulnerable, but she's just going to be angry because I have been there. It feels so upsetting.
Here's the thing. I have given that speech to 2 friends, like in the same moment in life. I gave that speech to 2 friends, how much I needed them. And the biggest fear of giving that speech is when they don't show up for you.
They still don't show up.
When you're free falling and then people outright basically tell you with their actions and their words, they will not show up for you like you thought, like you need.
They're not going to catch you. Yeah.
You are actually like underground, 10 feet deep. You're even worse off. And so I feel like it's really hard to take that leap and do it. And I don't think, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Lindsay would show up how Danielle needs her to, even if they have this conversation.
I don't know if she would. I think you really have to lay it out in really like blatant terms. And like, I think if I had sat down with my friend and I had said like, look, I'm not like a lesbian. I literally just miss you.
Yeah.
And I just feel like alone. I think my friend might have been receptive towards it and been more of like, okay, we'll set aside like 1 day a week or something where we hang out and I'm not on my phone with him, or something, like just even little things of like, she wouldn't be on her phone when she's with me or like whatever. Do I think it would last a long time? No.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like short term you might get some response, but long term typically not.
Yeah, but I think it could help like open the discussion, because then if Danielle's like, I feel like we're drifting again, like, is there anything I can do? The problem is Danielle is so mad. She's so offended, and I get it, but she's not going to present it in the way that Lindsay needs it, because Lindsay's in her bubble. She's not going to see anything outside of Carl.
I have a little hope that this discussion could happen at the reunion, because I think other people being kind of a part of the discussion would help get some points across. I think they could open their eyes. Mediator. I think Lindsay could open her eyes to Danielle's hurt a little bit more.
I don't. I think this friendship's over. I
think it is, but I think some people might be able to coach Lindsay to understand like what Danielle needs from her in a friendship and like what she's losing.
I think it only can be Andy. And here's the thing. I think the world's going to be very pro Lindsay, which I understand to an extent, but it's going to break my heart. I feel like there's always one thing at the reunion that I beg Bravo fans, like, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
And I think Danielle's hurt is not going to be talked about. And that's going to hurt me. I don't think we're going to talk about how hurt Danielle was this whole season.
Yeah. Yeah.
By everything, by Robert, by Lindsay, by Carl, by the friendships, by still working things out with Sierra. I don't think that's going to be a main segment. I don't. I think it's going to be like, why do you guys hate each other? And they're just going to yell at each other.
But and the group's going to get involved and they'll never actually get words across. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's so sad because Danielle has to be the one to be like, I was hurt. Like, honestly, hurt people. I did it. And I'm sad and I'm still hurt. She needs to be so vulnerable, but there is that fear that Lindsay's never going to receive it well.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't even know if I said what I wanted to say. Like I did.
No, I think you did. I think, and this is a perspective, like you said, Twitter's not on this perspective. I think we see it in such a different light from going through some of these moments ourselves.
Yeah, and I get it. If you're in the relationship, you are happy. When I'm in a relationship, all I want to do is spend
You
my
have
time with
blinders
them.
on and you're in
Yeah.
your own you're in your love bubble, as Teresa says, like Teresa Judy
I'm in
J.
my love bubble.
And like I get
But
that, but there's also this outside world that is happening and it breaks my heart for Danielle.
I also think, right, like Carl's lost a lot with his dad and his brother. There's been a lot of family drama. Lindsay also, her mother abandoned her. I feel like these two, like you said, have not been raised by a village. Like we have.
Yeah.
I've always been around family and friends. Like I've never
Like I can't
fully,
imagine not having all these connections.
I think these two just like they both need that one stable thing.
Like they're latching on to the stability that they didn't have.
And I'm so happy
They're
for
craving
them.
stability in one person.
And I'm so happy for them. But like it breaks my heart that all these people want to give them love, but they need love back. And I don't know if Lindsay and Carl can take love away from each other.
Yeah.
Weird, wild. We went down serious.
Seriously. Therapy corner over here.
Let's
all right,
talk
let's
about
do
next time.
Yeah.
Chris licks feet, which is I hate feet.
Why
This is
does
gonna
this
gross
always
me
happen
out.
on reality TV shows?
I know, this is the worst thing. Lindsay's upset that Danielle is coming for her. Robert and Danielle might not keep their place in Williamsburg, which they don't. Spoiler. Kyle's turning 40. Kyle needs work-life balance. Corey's here.
Yes, I've never been so happy.
Excited.
Never been so happy.
Sierra would totally hook up with Corey. So we did it. Woo woo, fun, not fun. Which one you want to start with?
Oh, I don't know.
It was fun, not fun.
It's tricky. I feel like there weren't like so many bad things. There's like you know what I will say. This is a half decent episode. I feel like there's a decent amount of drama without it being like stupid drama.
Agreed. I have a not fun. I'm rearing and ready.
Do it.
Mine's Amanda. I cannot get over that conversation with Lindsay. It like we don't need to go into it more.
And bringing it back to the house, like dumb.
It was just not it. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Sierra. I don't like her openness or her lack of openness with Gabby. I think Danielle. I'm really happy Danielle is pointing it out to her. I'm hoping some change can happen, but for how supportive she was of Maya being on the season and like bonding over, shared experiences of being Black in the Hamptons. I wish there was like more grace, I feel like, for Gabby and their like lack of instant connection.
Agreed.
And like effort from Sierra to build this bond.
Agreed. Okay, fun. I have mine. You want me to go?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna pick Paige. Ooh. I think her conversation with Craig was great. I think her asking great questions at the dinner table really got the conversation going. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was flirty. It was all in good taste. And then I think I do think Paige weirdly can like get to Lindsay. Like, I don't know what it is because they don't like each other, I don't think, but also like weirdly have some respect for each other. But at the end, when Paige was like, we're not coming at your relationships. Like this is a normal conversation. I like that Paige kept her cool. Like she's just trying to communicate. Yeah, I thought Paige had like a great episode. She went out, she had fun.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like Paige.
I think this is gonna shock you, but I'm gonna pick Lindsay. The overall themes that we talked about, I'm upset like long term with Lindsay and Danielle, but I feel like Lindsay was very emotionally raw in that conversation with Amanda, even though she didn't probably get what she wanted from Amanda. I think her trying to just close the book on this chapter and like move forward is a really big thing. I'm so happy for her. And I feel like her fun side got brought out this episode. She at the winery was slinging back those little cups, even if she didn't like it. Carl was terrible in that wagon moment, but I loved the tipping over the wagon. I thought it was hilarious. And Lindsay being excited for girls' night. Like, I want her to do these things. I want her to want to do these things and then actually do them. And so I feel like we got some good follow through compared to last episode where she wouldn't go out in Montauk. I'm not loving the defensiveness and anger, but I know that's going to be a common theme, so I won't ding her for it, like, actually, until it gets worse.
Lindsay.
Yeah, I'm weirdly becoming a Lindsay stan, but I know
I'm
it's
a
not going to
Lindsay
last
stan.
long because I'm upset about this friendship breakup.
I don't know.
How
Okay,
about this?
so
When it's like you said, when it's not against Danielle, I'm a Lindsay stan, I
there
think,
you go.
this
I
season.
love Lindsay. I love her. Okay, so let's do a podcast by the people. That took me a
Nice.
second. Okay, Jackie watched Summer House from their Airbnb pool. Live
Fun and
it.
flirty. Your own
Living.
version of Summer House.
Okay, so Isha, our patron of the episode, said,
Mhm.
literally signed up for this Patreon to vent.
Love.
Welcome. Welcome.
That is, we spent 2 hours doing it. So take your 5 minutes of airtime. We love it.
First, I love Summer House podcast. You both give great perspectives on situations that occur on the show. Thank you so much.
We try.
So to start, this season hasn't been that entertaining on the party and fun front. I do think their neighbors reported them to the city or something.
Oh my God.
Maybe.
I bet just someone watching it like is involved, like knows that shit and dinged the house.
Maybe.
It really, the house structure really does piss me off.
Yeah. There has to be a reason why they have refrained from the good parties of the previous season. I think they need to get rid of the couples. This show isn't about who is going to be the number one couple of the Hamptons. Agreed. No one
It's
cares.
so true. Like, I really think we can only survive with a couple in the house. Like a Craig and Paige situation, I don't think is a bothersome thing. Like where, like, or Danielle and Robert, like where the couple isn't in the house. But I really do think there can only be one couple in the house, and not everybody can be in a relationship.
Just because then you get couple drama.
And yeah, you do need a
love
slight bit of it, but you need people to want to like go out and live. Like Paige said, she lives life like she's single. She just doesn't hook up with people.
Yeah. Okay, so Isha says, I think the way Sierra and Maya are prejudging Gabby is truly bothersome to me. Maya had a really bad first season as a Black woman in a predominantly white space. You would think she would attempt to embrace Gabby. Yet it has turned into what I perceive as jealousy. Gabby has a great life. I think one thing Sierra has shared with the viewers is that she doesn't have a great relationship to her dad.
Yeah.
To see someone have that support from both parents is seemingly triggering to Sierra, in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah. I kind
take.
of agree. And Sierra may not know she's doing it for those reasons. It's just, I'm not liking it.
It might just be jealousy of someone else getting the privilege. You never, like, to be honest, if someone's like, my parents bought me a car, I'd be like, I'm jealous.
I'm a little jealous
of
inside.
Your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But like to constantly be like, I'm never going to connect with them because their parents bought them a car. That's ridiculous.
I feel like Sierra's just trying to constantly finding reasons to not connect with Gabby.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I picked her as my not fun.
No, you didn't. Oh, you
Sierra? My not fun.
Is that who you picked?
Yeah.
Did I write down the wrong person?
Probably. I picked Lindsay as my fun and Sierra as my not fun.
Oh, you did. Sorry.
Who the hell did you write down?
I obviously didn't.
I was like, did I block out them? Who
I didn't
did I say?
I didn't listen to you. Okay, so then
thanks, Isha, for restating it because Alicia didn't hear me.
So then Isha says, the way Sierra rolled her eyes at Gabby for stating her parents fund her life told me it's deeper than she's surface level. I hope Sierra uncovers her issue with seeing someone else have the support she wishes she had from both parents. I hope so too. I hope she gets over it. It's like not a big deal. Like, I don't know why we're finding trust from babies, but like if your parents just want to help you out a little bit.
Like as long as you can read the room and not like say a lot of comments about it. Like, listen, I get if someone just literally was like, oh, I'm so poor. And it's like, well, your parents pay for half your shit. Like, you're really not. That would piss me off. But Gabby really doesn't talk about it that much unless it suits the thing happening. Like, oh, I didn't know we had to decorate ourselves. I honestly would have hired somebody to do this. Like, that's just a quippy comment. I'd be like, I wish I could afford that.
I would do that, Gabby.
I'll be a little internally
for my party. I'd be
annoyed. But
I'd be like, I'll throw a party with you if we hire decorators.
You know what? You can hire them for my party.
Yeah. So then the feud with Danielle and Lindsay is interesting. I think a lot is going on between both of them. I hate that they aren't actually confiding in each other because
Mhm.
it's clearly they clearly both need support rather than judgment or neglect. I agree. We dove into it, but there's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Okay. Danielle has always been very dependent, quote unquote, I want to be liked personality. And she has depended on Lindsay to make her feel secure since they've become besties. This week's episode revealed that Robert and her were not in a good space. I think she wanted Lindsay to ask her, "Are you okay?" If we look at their relationship, Danielle has always been providing her or proving herself to Lindsay as a good friend, while Lindsay saw her as a placeholder until she found a man. Oh, I keep thinking about the way she treated Christina on season 1. The second Christina stated her feelings, Lindsay threw her away. On the other side, I also think Danielle is voicing her feelings in a way that is not helpful. It is accusatory, as Sam states in the preview.
That's
Wow,
interesting.
that's interesting. She maybe has kept Danielle as like a placeholder.
It's like they're both codependent. Danielle's codependent with friendships. Lindsay has moved her codependency to Carl and doesn't need Danielle for the emotional support anymore.
Yeah. I think it's very easy though to want your friends to ask you if you're okay. Like I want my friends to recognize if
I'm a person who I don't want to tell them I'm not okay. I need people to ask me, and sometimes people get passive aggressive, so you will ask them. I was just listening to a podcast, and like this situation, not this exact situation with Lindsay and Danielle was happening, but with like sisters and maids of honor, and the person giving feedback was like, oh, like she probably threw like such a stinker, was so mean to you because she wanted you to not really beg, but be like, no, I really want you to be a bridesmaid. Like Danielle is kind of being mean to Lindsay a little bit so Lindsay's like, why aren't we better friends? Like I think Danielle wants Lindsay to come running to her a little bit.
Yeah. I get that. So then Isha says, well, Lindsay has always had abandonment issues from her mom abandoning her as a child. I think she wants to check off those boxes of having a husband, kids, a family of her own. Carl's trying to check off boxes too. He wants his perfect life to make up for his brother's sad ending. Wow. They have become completely codependent on each other to check off those boxes. So their love for each other does seem forced at times. Lindsay has completely censored herself and her needs to appease Carl. They refused to have conversations because they would break up if they were being truthful. We basically kind of said that, but you put it more eloquently. So
the like family stuff, they're prioritizing having the perfect family, and that it is a priority of theirs rather than some other stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Aisha says, lastly, I have never been a Lindsay fan. However, I now realize that it's easy to paint her as the bad person in her relationship with Carl because Carl is passive and avoidant. She is more outspoken. I absolutely dreaded the way he basically shamed her into staying at home on last week's episode. The way he refused to reassure her that it was okay for her to go to Montauk. The way he made all of his and Kyle's friendship issues about Amanda and Lindsay. I do wonder how will she downplay her wants and play the bad guy in their relationship to outsiders just to maintain her dream of a family.
Whoa.
Hot takes. Whoa. Isha, you gotta come to the table more.
So much for joining.
That was great.
Wow.
I need to like reread that later and think about it.
Okay. This is very therapy, like information stuff. This is not what we're used to on Summer House. We need it to be fun. Great.
Yeah. So Tonette says, I seriously love Paige and Craig. The whole time they're talking, I'm just smiling like a fucking goober. Such comic relief. I like don't know what I think of this relationship. So go you.
I don't hate it.
I just don't love, I don't know.
It's kind of like Amanda and Kyle back in the day.
Yeah. So I don't think Amanda should be apologizing using you did, quote unquote, you did this. If a person says you hurt my feelings, I thought we were friends and crying. For God's sake, give that bitch a damn hug. Honestly, leave her alone. Dustin says, yo, Chris seems pretty okay to me. I was legit laughing hard when he was giving Carl and Kyle shit for finally not fighting. Like the boyfriend.
Welcome, Dustin.
Like it was just all in jest, but I'm glad someone said those words out loud to those two guys. Also, we watched the entire episode floating in a pool, which was pretty fucking dope. Very Summer House-esque, if you will. Tonette says, I'm sorry, but it seems like Robert doesn't like Danielle. Yeah, there's a lot. there's a lot that it's rough. I think he does. It's just a rough time. And Tonette says, I fucking love Chris. Okay. Now Chrissy. Chrissy says, Lindsay meeting up with Amanda was great. I think Lindsay seems genuine. I mean, she was still talking about herself, but she cared about it. So, but Amanda ending it with a negative opinion on what happened, annoying.
Agreed.
It was the worst, Chrissy. She says, watching Danielle and Robert, why is she inviting him to a party if she wants one-on-one time? Why not sneak away right away? Or why not sneak away right away to do your own dinner and bonding instead of having Robert cook for everyone? I think she's asking for too much. I don't. I think
It's tricky.
she's in a contract, right? She's got to go to Summer House.
It's the show versus her relationship.
We don't want to see Robert and Danielle on a date. I want to see this.
I don't want to see any of the couples on a solo date.
I don't think she's asking for too much when she just asked him to like come to bed early.
That was fine. I think she was also looking out for him.
Yes. Okay, I enjoyed the game they played at dinner where they asked couples questions, but did anyone else feel like they were leaving out Lindsay and Carl? Like maybe they didn't want to hear anything else.
I bet that it was edited.
I think it was edited. Yeah, I don't. And also,
I think everybody probably gave their answers, even single people.
Okay, quote unquote. Let's get our steps in is the new way I'll be referring to dancing. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, he said it. Yeah, she was like, I'm listening at work. I don't know if he said it. He did. And then Kyle getting into bed with Amanda and her complaining. That's what it's like having a child. They quietly get into bed with you. In fact, they kick you, mumble nonsense, and they end up sleeping sideways so their feet dig in your stomach.
Love.
Hilarious. I don't want kids, so I wouldn't know. Okay, Chrissy says, alrighty. I really thought I was on Team Danielle. Like, obviously, the breakup in her head and Lindsay's fault would be Lindsay being over dramatic. Nope. Right now, I think it'll be on Danielle. Guess what? People grow the fuck up. Just because Lindsay stays sober and drinks less in front of Carl does not mean she's not being herself. How many times have we said that Lindsay has gotten blackout and drunk? That's not how you want to spend your 40s. Trust me. 32 hits and suddenly it takes 4 days to recover without hair of the dog. Danielle needs to get over the fact that her bestie is making decisions for herself, and the way I see it, they're good decisions. I agree. I think they're good decisions.
They just don't have a new avenue of quality time is the problem.
I think Danielle's just hurt.
I don't think it's the activity change. It's the
they need to time spent. Go bowling together, join a book club, or
walk along the water together, get coffee. Like it just things aren't happening.
Yes. I don't think Danielle's like, I don't want you to better yourself. I think she's like, I want you to
I don't want you to leave me in the
not
dust.
Forget about me.
Yeah.
Okay. Kelsey, our last patron. Don't worry, you guys. We're not gonna ramble all night. Kelsey says, call me crazy, but I thought the conversation at lunch with Amanda and Lindsay was productive. It's annoying to see that when they get to the house, Amanda talks to Paige and Sierra about it. We see Amanda two-faced and a little shit talking. Also, Paige saying she doesn't get why Lindsay was mad is one, stupid, and two, like it's obvious she was hurt. And last weekend at the party, you explicitly talked to her about that. Yeah, it's fucking,
that is true.
Paige was fucking stupid about that. Yeah, Amanda's two-facedness. I do think Lindsay feels the conversation was productive at the restaurant. I think
for Lindsay's side it was.
I think Amanda is just
I think Amanda was dead weight. Lindsay's just dragging along to have peace.
So Kelsey says, I feel like we need a reminder of Amanda and Kyle's relationship journey and how fucked up it was. To judge the pace of Lindsay and Carl seems unfair, considering they have been friends for a long time and are starting a relationship later in life. I agree. I don't think it's bad.
But I don't think she's judging it. I think she's just commenting.
Yes.
It's
not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. If someone's like, hey, you're moving too slow or you're moving too fast, that's not bad. Just like
let's discuss it.
That's how they see it.
Yeah.
It's different.
And all you have to say is like Paige said, like it works for us. We're going at our own pace.
Yes. Okay. And then last part is you ladies have said it before and you'll say it again, but I am too rational for the show. We all are.
Yep, we are.
Yay. Well, thanks for sticking with us. Do all the things. We'll be back next week per usual.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Bye,
Bye.
guys.